the mathematics of chance, probability. Now, before we can understand the concept of probability, we need to get ourselves conversant with some terms. An experiment has to do with performing an activity such as throwing a die, then spinning a spinner. All these are what we call experiments. An outcome is the result of an experiment. So, for instance, when we throw the die, we got a 5. So this result is what we call the outcome of the experiment. This spinner landed on the blue sector, so this is an outcome. Then a sample space. A sample space refers to the set of all the possible outcomes. So this is a 5, another 5, then a 4, a 1. So theoretically, we say the sample space include a 1, then a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. These are the possible outcomes that one can get when this die is rolled. Then an event has to do with all the subsets of the sample space. All the subsets of these include a null set, a set with only 1, then a set with only 2, then we have combination of 1, 2, then we could also have the event of only even numbers 2, 4, 6, then that of prime numbers, etc. Now we have to talk about what we mean by simple experiment and compound experiment or event. So when you throw a single die, we say we are performing a simple experiment. When you spin a spinner, it's also a simple experiment. But if we toss 2 die at a time, 3, if we roll 2 dice at a time, or 3 at a time, this is a compound experiment. Or we throw a die and we roll a spinner, then this is a compound experiment. We throw a die and then also toss a coin, is also a compound experiment. So now that we have grabbed the concept of these terminologies, we are going to look at how they will help us get the correct understanding of probabilities.